What is up, Mentors Collective? Welcome to another episode where you are going to master marketing and business skills. On this one, we're going to be talking about a topic we haven't touched on yet, and that's going to be leveraging Instagram to sell your product, specifically your digital products. And this is something that I was actually curious on how to do for myself. So I found a friend who I see is crushing that on all on his own. You've probably seen him if you're on Instagram and you're in the entrepreneurial and the digital marketing space. He is big time. He's living in Miami, crushing life with the digital products game. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to a friend of mine, Josue Pena. He's on Instagram as @Pena, super cool username, and he is a master of leveraging Instagram to sell his digital products. And in this episode, we're going to be going deep, step by step, on how to do the exact same thing for yourself. Jose, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining me, brother.
For sure. I appreciate the invite. I always feel honored when people invite me over, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you got the invite because you're doing good work. You're not just teaching us stuff, you're actually practicing it and crushing it. So thank you for taking your time to share with the audience.
For sure.
So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you find success leveraging Instagram to sell your digital products? Tell us your little entrepreneurial journey. How'd you get here?
Yeah, for sure. So what I would say is I didn't get into this to make money or anything, like this whole social media world. I actually wanted to become a pro soccer player. I'm from Dominican Republic originally, and that was my goal. So I was back in 2012, 2013. My goal was like, I'm going to use social media to get a pro contract because nobody's going to find me in DR as a soccer player, right? So funny enough, in 2016, I actually get the chance to be a pro. But then I just decided to quit. It wasn't my thing. I realized it wasn't what I wanted. I went into business, literally like 30, 60 days later, I had a client for like $3,500 that he wanted to grow his social media like I had done it. And then that evolved into consulting, and then I built a course around it, then an agency, and then a coaching program, and like built all to 7 figures. Obviously there's ups and downs and everything in between. But yeah, that's, in short, how I got into it. And now we, thankfully we've been able to help literally the biggest influencers on the space sell, launch, grow their own info products, their own digital courses. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to do this with, people like Grant Cardone or Alex Becker or like all these big 8-figure personal brands. And a lot of people are using the strategies today. So yeah, that's kind of the short summary.
Well, I'm familiar with all those people, and I can't wait to dig into the strategies.
For sure.
That's interesting. You were a professional athlete too. I played professional beach volleyball for a long time, pivoted that, left that to do medicine, graduated medical school, and then realized business was the calling. But it's interesting the curves that come along the path to success in business.
Yep.
But it seems like you found your way, and congrats on all your success, man.
Appreciate it.
So with these people that you mentioned, Grant Cardone, Alex Becker, huge names. I'll just get right into it. What are some of the strategies that you teach, that you use to have success in selling your products and scaling your social media to do that?
Yeah, so what I would say is obviously the strategies, for example, like somebody like Grant Cardone or like a big name will not, 9 times out of 10 is not going to work for like the person starting from scratch. So like it's a completely different ball game when you're talking about somebody that has hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising budget versus somebody who has maybe like 500 or 1,000. So but the similarities to start, I would say, are the same. There's 3. One, I would say, is the content cadence that you're posting on the page. So meaning, like, what is being posted on your Instagram itself? I like Instagram just because it's faster. You can grow very quickly. You can be profitable almost from day one. And I also, by the way, tend to focus on more premium products. So if you're selling a course for under $1,000 or under $2,000, stop. Just like bump the price, and I'll talk about it here in a second. And the reason why that's is because a course is not just about profit, but about impact. And somebody who buys a $47 ebook is probably not going to take it seriously, right? So it's like you want people that actually buy it, that actually can consume it and implement it, because ultimately those are people who are going to become testimonials, and you need that for marketing. So it's like you need people to have results. So anyways, that's that. Now content cadence, what I would say is what you're posting on the page needs to be relevant to what you're selling. I see a lot of people, trying to become like an influencer or dance on TikTok and do all this random stuff that has nothing to do with their business. So I would say like content that you're posting needs to be relevant to your offer or your course or your digital product or whatever, or your expertise, right? It has to be relevant to that. And then just try to post at least once a day. Like that's in short what it is. Doing that, you'll show up on the people's feed every day. You'll see you as an expert, and making the sale will be easier. 2, I would say, is the sales process. It's like, how do you turn a random person who followed you today into a paying customer? Like, how do you turn somebody who just followed you today to buy your course? So like, what's the process there? Typically what I find is a 14-day to 30-day window, like from when they follow you to when they purchase, is a pretty good average window. But ultimately that only happens if you have a content cadence, because the content will pre-sell people on your offer or your course. And then ultimately a sales process in place that comes between DMs, funnel, and several other things. That's actually when they jump on a call with you to buy the thing, right? Your course, they already know what you have, know what you offer, and it's ultimately about seeing if it's a good fit for them or not, finances, and if you see if it can actually help them. That's it. It's like the sale becomes super, super easy. It's inbound. You don't have to chase people around. And the way I see it's like, dating. It's like if you go out to a random girl in the bar and you try to take her home the very first night or marry her the very first night, and you're super aggressive, it's super like, she's not going to do it. She's not going to go. But if you position yourself correctly, you buy her a drink, maybe you flirt with her a little, like you smile, take her number, you take her on a second date, whatever, like that ultimately is a better road. Might be quote unquote longer, but it's a much higher success rate. So that's ultimately how I see Instagram. It's like about building a real meaningful relationship with your followers. And it doesn't matter the size, as they say, right? It matters how you use it. So Instagram is the same way. It's like with 1,000 followers, I can, build a business with a 6-figure per month net. But it all comes down to the quality of the followers and the content you're producing. And the marketing piece is the third piece, but that's secondary in my opinion. The foundation is the most important thing. Marketing is like Instagram ads, super, super easy way that you can grow and get leads like overnight. Shout outs is another way that's very, very profitable. So that's what I would say like the 3 main things or pillars that no matter if I'm working with like somebody like Alex Becker or Lady Boss or Kevin David or Tanner, Chittister, like people like that, or somebody that's starting from like 0 with like less than 1,000 followers, the pillars will be the same. If that makes sense.
Right. Super helpful. And I'd like to just address one of the limiting beliefs that I know I had and a lot of people listening probably also have, and that's, who am I? Who's going to buy my course? Who's going to follow me? And how am I going to stand out from the crowd of already established entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
What do you say to somebody like that?
Yeah. So what I would say is there's a couple components, and I understand why that is, but I'll give you an example because, I'm sure a lot of people that sell Amazon FBA courses. It's like there's a million of them, right? And ultimately, in my opinion, for me, that's one of the favorite niches to work in because it's super easy to grow. But most people try to shy away from it because it's so competitive. Now, what I would say is this: is like if somebody buys your course, it's not like they're marrying that course. Like they can go buy another one, and ultimately, the marketplace is bigger than you think, and people are going to buy based on you, like your personal brand. That's why it's so important to have the content putting out there because people are going to build a relationship with you. So, if, for example, let me give you an example. Like Dave, one of our clients, like Ecom Dave, people can look him up. Today he has like 100,000 followers, doing $500,000 a month. 2 years ago he wasn't like that. He was like a bartender in a club here in Miami, and he told me the exact same thing. Not a huge personal brand. I don't have a big following, and nobody knows me. Like, why should people buy from me versus the big dog? I'm like, bro. At the end of the day, first of all, you don't need that many clients to make a ton of money because you're selling at a premium. 1, 2. Is people are going to buy because of you. It's like your story, they're going to relate to you, right? And that's it. It's like people relate to me, like Latinos relate to me because I'm Latino. It's like maybe some other guy won't, and that's fine. So it's like that's the reality. And the imposter syndrome, what I would say is this: be ethical with it. It's like the thing I'm sharing with you today is like you can sell actual crap. I don't want to curse. I don't know if you can curse here. Actual crap, or you can actually sell actual shit. Or like something that's actually valuable to the marketplace. It's like a gun. It's like you can give a gun to the Marine and save people's lives, or you can give it to a random person and kill somebody. So like here's like these things do work. So you want to be ethical and teach people something you do know. Like lead by example. Don't try to freaking finagle your way, try to be salesy and scheming and like weird about it, because like ultimately it's not going to be a long-term success. You want something that actually works, you've done it before, you lead by example, and you're only teaching what you've done. It's like I told Dave, if you're only making $5,000 a month profit on Amazon, don't say you're making $1 million. Say, I'll teach you how to make $5,000 a month on profit on Amazon. And that's what he did and blew up. So it's like, just teach, lead by example. And I'll end with this. There's a movie called Catch Me If You Can. I don't know if you've seen it. Leonardo DiCaprio acts on it. And there's a scene where he's teaching medicine, and it's funny because you went to medicine. He's teaching medicine to medicine students in some, I don't know, college. And then people ask him, like, how do you're a random guy, you never got medicine, you never got a college degree, how are you teaching medicine? He's like, all I did was read the chapter the night before that I was going to teach. So all that matters is like you're a little bit ahead of the people behind you that you're teaching. So meaning lead by example. So that's what I would say.
Right, and I agree with that. There's always someone you can help. And
Exactly.
sometimes I feel like maybe if you're too advanced, like you're a super high level FBA seller, you might not be talking or teaching to the people right below you.
Exactly.
To the people way below you. So sometimes it might be more beneficial to learn from somebody who's just above you.
Yep.
But that's really, really helpful. What are some growth strategies on Instagram that some people can employ early on? I know you mentioned a couple earlier, like shout outs, but what is working kind of right now for you? Obviously,
Yeah.
Instagram, the environment is always changing. So I'd love to hear some of the strategies that you currently use and teach to grow your platform.
Yeah, so I would say it again starts with the content, like the content cadence. Reels right now is just crushing it. It's like if you're gonna create a good reel, just think about what you're selling, the end result, and just try to position a good hook. It's like, hey, if biggest pain point in order that avoids you to get from results. It's like that's a very easy thing. It's like just try to figure out what you can do on that side. Reels are just crushing it, like hands down one of the best things that you can post. And it's very easy 15 to 60 second videos. It doesn't have to be super professional. That's one side. The next thing is shout outs. So the shout outs is basically where you're paying a bigger influencer $100, $200, $300 to promote your page. Now, obviously at scale, you can spend a lot of money and not be profitable. So you need to have a solid offer that you're actually selling to be profitable running shout outs. But the beauty about it is that if you again take the 3 things that I mentioned before, content cadence, sales process, once you get to shout outs is you spend $100, for example, you get 100 followers back, but because you have a sales process and a content that pre-sells people on your stuff, those 100 followers, you can take maybe like 1 or 2 people and convert them like a 2%, 3% conversion rate, which is pretty average, and make at $2,000 a piece. You just made 2 times 2,000, you just made $4,000, so you turned $100 into $4,000. That's a 40x or something crazy. So like that's becomes very, very easy to grow. Obviously, as you scale, the amount of profit per shout out per se goes down, but you can scale to hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in profit just doing that. Instagram ads is another way. Same thing. The content that you're posting on the page, people will see an ad from you, for example. They will see the ad, they will go to your profile, see what you have, consume a little bit of content, probably follow you, and then go back to the ad and do whatever CTA or call to action you have on the ad. So like it's extremely important that the marketing tactic is just kind of like the end thing that you do. The foundation upon which you build the business is by far the most important, which again, content cadence and the sales process. So that's the main 2 things, shout outs and Instagram ads. We can talk about retargeting and like all sorts of more advanced stuff, but I would say simple, shout outs, Instagram ads, you can spend $100, $10 a day on Instagram ads and have results, which is the crazy part. And get people on sales calls to sell the course, program, and whatever. It's like, it's very, very extremely profitable. It's like, even right now, I know that the ecosystem have changed, ads are quote unquote more expensive, but if you do things correctly, it's actually not. It's like you should be able to get like a 5, 10, 15x on average, even at scale. So, which is pretty cool.
Cool, and that's definitely one part of it, right? You need to be able to drive traffic to your page. Once they get to your page is really when you're selling them on your expertise.
Exactly.
Which is going to lead them to book a call and buy the course.
Exactly.
So assuming you have all those pieces in play, you've built authority, you're driving traffic, you're converting that traffic into calls. Talk to me a little bit about building product. Because obviously if the product stinks, you're going to get refunds, you're going to get negative reviews, and that business isn't going to be viable for very long.
Yeah. So something I would say, there's actually 2 components. Product, it's one, but before I talk about that, something that most people don't think, and I certainly didn't when I started, is tracking cash. It's like, thinking like a restaurant owner. Like, I don't know if you ever know how restaurant owners run their business, but they have like the most accurate like tracking cash in, cash out kind of system, because they're tracking credit cards, they're tracking also physical cash, and they have to keep track of everything in a way where employees don't steal the actual cash. So like there has to be some sort of system in place. So from my experience, like when you keep a close eye on the profit, like cash collected, sales, actual profit per day, per month, per week, you'll grow. So that's one side. To answer your question now, product wise, what I would say is this: if you're starting from zero, don't worry about creating a course, because you don't know what people want. It's like, that's a reality. You have no idea what people want. Pre-sell it, sell it before you make it, sell it to 5, 10 people at $2,000 a pop. You make an easy $10, $20, $30, $40,000. You validate the offer without creating it. Same thing that Elon Musk did. He's like, hey, buy this Tesla. I'll send it over to you in 2 years. He makes a couple billions, uses the billions to build the thing. Kind of same thing here. It's like, hey, buy it. People know it's beta. People know it's beta launch. They like it because they're first. Human nature likes being first. And then you go out there and build it. Say, hey, like for example, today is June 29th. I'll be like, hey, July 15th, we're launching our beta group or beta launch, whatever. Between now and July 15th, all I'm doing is selling. And we have 10 spots, 15 spots, 20 spots open, and that's it. You then sell it. You make, like I said, $20,000, $40,000. I'm lazy by nature. Having $40,000 in the bank account is probably going to motivate me and anybody. So you go out there, and then you want to build an amazing product and amazing service to the people that you enrolled, to their needs. Not to what you thought, but to their needs. Ultimately, you're able to talk to them. You're able to build what they actually want. And the first batch of people become your testimonials. So it's like there's a lot of good elements here in order to do that. So it's like that's ultimately the way I like building it. At scale later on, a lot of people talk about closers and sales and marketing, but it's if you never got a new customer, like you only got one customer today, how can you get 2 customers tomorrow from that one customer if you stop all marketing efforts? And the product needs to be superb. And it comes down to, in my opinion, having a solid customer success manager. You're selling a premium course or product. You can invest on somebody, a coach or a personal one-on-one person to help that prospect go through the program, go through the course, and implement it. Software companies do this all the time. It's like the biggest software companies have a customer success enrollment or manager that helps people implement the software and use it. Same thing here. It's like you want somebody that holds their hand, onboards them, and makes the experience for the prospect and the customer so good that not only they want to sign up again or get upsold to whatever other program you have, but also refer other people to your stuff. So that's the way I like doing things. Is first, if you're starting from zero, don't create anything. You have no idea what people want anyways. Sell it. Go sell it first. Validate the idea. Make 5 figures profit. Then take that, build a program for the people, right? And if you have a program already, doesn't matter, like just do the same thing. And then ultimately scale by having a customer success manager that's working with people. You can invest into team because you're selling a premium course or program. And that's ultimately the way I like doing things. And the reason why, in my opinion, we have a good success rate is because we're holding people like very hands-on and stuff like that. We have check-ins, we have like a lot of stuff. And there's something called activation points as well, where any course has it, where it's like, what are the points where people can have success? Like, let's just say Amazon FBA, like finding the winning product, or in fitness, dropping their first 5 pounds, right? That activation point, you gotta like identify it and know which one it is, because that's the first initial kind of like first fast win that you want people to have with your course. And that releases dopamine in the brain of the prospect, and then they move forward faster. And it just creates a momentum in both your business and in kind of why they're consuming the course. So that's what I would say is, to summary, beta launch if you don't have anything, 100%. Sell it before you make it. After, use that profit you made, obviously to invest into marketing, but most importantly to invest into team, a solid customer success manager to help the clients and go through the course and implement. And then finally is have solid activation points. And of course, at the beginning, you don't know what those are, which is why you have the beta launch, to talk to people one-on-one, to figure out what the activation points are in order to help them, right? Because that's ultimately what a course is. It's about impact and helping people. So, yeah.
That's some gold of knowledge. I appreciate you sharing that playbook. That's definitely something that I think is going to resonate with people. Now, with this product, especially if you're selling a high ticket product that's $2, $3, $4, $5,000 for somebody to enroll in, what are some of the key components that we should think about offering in that course? Obviously, the modules, the e-learning is a no-brainer. Those are things that need to be included. What are some extras that they're going to be either expecting or bonuses that are going to help you close that deal? Should you be offering one-on-one coaching, group coaching? Is that a necessary part of the offer? For those developing, because first you have to develop the offer to sell it, and then you have to go and create the product. So what are some components of that offer that people should think about including?
So I would say is not 100% necessary, because like, for example, if your program is like super short, sweet to the point, has super like high success rate, maybe not. But I would say community is one of the most crucial and important elements, because when people enroll into something, they want to feel like they're part of something, right? So community, I would say, is a big component. And you can include group coaching, you can include one-on-one. At the beginning though, if somebody's starting to build a course from zero, I wouldn't overwhelm it. It's like most offers has like 2 activation points or 3 or pillars or phases that they like to call it. So just have it like 1 or 2 calls a week for an hour in a group setting, and you only for example, on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. EST, you only talk about phase 1, and the next day you talk about phase 2, and people who have questions about phase 1 or phase 2 just jump on those calls. That's it. It's like, just keep it very simple. Today, for example, in our company, we have calls every day, like Monday through Friday. You don't have to do that at the beginning.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. But we want to give the best customer experience. So it's like, that will keep it just simple. If you're beta launching, for sure, try to do as much one-on-one as possible, because you don't know what people want. So you have to talk to them. You have to interview them. You have to, etc. So I would say if you're beta launcher, like launching from zero, yes, one-on-one. Build the aspect of community. You can have a Facebook group and stuff like that. I personally don't like Facebook groups. I'm building my own custom solution for that. Facebook groups, in my opinion, is just like a huge pond of distractionness. And it's not the most efficient way, but it works. So aspect of community and one-on-one is things that you should think about including. Also, because you don't want to just make a quick buck and call it a day. You're looking to build like an actual solid info product, digital course, education business, right? If you're looking, to just get in and get out, this might not be kind of even the podcast for you. But yeah.
Right. Talk to me a little bit about your info product business and some of the ones that you've seen work in the past. Do you try and stay in one lane? Is there a specific type of info product that you see fail more often than others? And what kills info products? What should people be worried about?
Yeah. There's a lot.
I just asked too many questions.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with the last one. What kills info products first? Okay. So what I would say, there's a couple components that kills info products. One is profitability, right? What I mentioned before is like, you don't even know where the money's going, whether it's coming from, like, and I'll tell you my own experience. When I was making, back in 2018, we did the first $1 million, and 2 years later I lost it all. Like, which is crazy to think. And I even got $300,000 in debt. It's like insane. So, and then beginning of 2021, I realized what I did wrong, and it wasn't just, I didn't see where the money was going, right? I was making all this sales. It was, whatever, but it wasn't it wasn't keeping anything. So number one thing I would say keeps people from scaling is they don't know their numbers. Like, they have no idea how much sales they got. They have no idea how much calls they have to make. They have no idea how many leads they have to take. Like, they have no idea any numbers. They don't have any key performing indicators or KPIs. They have no goals, like actual metric goals to work on every month or week or whatever. And that's what I would say is the most important thing that has people fail. That's like front end problem, right? If your goal is to make 30 grand a month and you have a product that is 3,000, how many sales do you need to do that? That's 10. That's 1 every 3 days. Cool. Awesome. How many sales calls do you need to take in order to hit those numbers? If you're converting at 25%, that's 1 sale every 4 calls. So meaning on the, what is that? 30 calls they're going to take or whatever, that's like 40 calls, right? To make 10 sales. So it's like, and then let's just say you're chatting with, I don't know, your DM or lead to call ratio is half, that means instead of 40 calls, you need 80, right? So you need 80 calls to make 10 sales at $3,000 a pop to make $30,000 in a month. So like just work backwards. And that's what I would say is people don't do, and they don't know what they're aiming for. It's like they have no idea what the goal is. So that's problem number one. And then problem number two is that, like you said, product sucks. It's like, it just sucks. It's very, very bad. They're not investing back into the business. They're just taking the money and blowing it. I don't know, going to Vegas or something. And they're not investing back into the company. And I would say is like, if you want to scale, you need a solid product, a solid service, a solid coaching program, a solid course. And the best way to do that is just get a solid customer success manager. If you're doing that yourself right now, that's fine. But after 6-figure a month net per month, it's like you need a customer success manager. It's going to increase success rate, testimonials, and re-sign up rates. It's like software companies, the reason why they get such insane valuations is because people keep paying for it. They don't leave. So it's like, how can you make your course so sticky that people don't want to leave and they want to keep being part of the community, keep consuming what you're doing. So that's like what I would say the two main components that has info products fail, for example. So yeah.
Okay, super, super helpful. What are some resources that you use to learn how to do this? Some resources that you'd recommend, whether they be expert gurus, maybe courses that you've taken, books that you've read. What has been a big influence on you in becoming successful in this space?
Yeah. But there's two books that I read, especially at the beginning, that really impacted me a lot. That's .com Secrets and Expert Secrets from Russell Brunson. Marketing and sales, like that, those are gold. I haven't read Traffic Secrets, simply because on Instagram you have all the traffic you need in the world.
You would love it.
Yeah. So, but I would say also like traffic-wise, just focus on one traffic source at a time. It's like, don't try to do everything. Just focus on one. So those two books, I would say .com Secrets and Traffic Secrets are gold mines. Now in terms of that's front end, like I said, marketing and sales, acquiring customers. Back end stuff, I would say see what software companies are doing. Like, for example, there's a YouTube channel by Y Combinator. Y Combinator is an accelerator program that invests into software companies. They're worth billions of dollars. Their videos are gold. Like their keynotes, their presentations, they're 30 minutes, an hour long, but they're gold. It's like they talk about how to retention and customer success and like all these elements that typically apply for a software company. You can easily apply it to your course. It's the same thing. It's like a digital course or a digital product is a software is a digital product and a course is a digital product. So the back end stuff like product and customer success wise, Y Combinator YouTube channel is extremely, extremely good. There's also a podcast called from Nathan Latka. He interviews a lot of founders in the software world as well. And that's extremely helpful. Again, on the back end side, and then marketing side, I would say .com Secrets and Expert Secrets.
Okay, I appreciate that. I can vouch for Russell Brunson's work. Go to his conferences, read his books. He's a